InternationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief.
So what, Chris?
The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. Today is a very special day because not only did Bitcoin this past week hit over 90K, we've got DevCon going on in Bangkok. There's a million crypto bros here. I'm trying my best to be a cold plunging, Alex Becker, less rich crypto bro. I actually, believe it or not, I've only gone to one meetup. I tried to go to one with Crypto Haze and CZ, and I got rejected. I got rejected because if you look at this, where's the photo? Wait, where's the photo? Maybe I'll get banned from YouTube. I'll look for the photo later while our special guest is talking. But anyway, guys, we have a OG TRI member here who yesterday, who you've probably seen in the chats through the months. Oh, he's consistently here. And this is the reward you get for trolling me on a weekly basis. We have Cotter here. Cotter recently, I believe it's just yesterday, right? Cotter, correct me if I'm wrong. You want to say hello?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Hello, everyone.
Yesterday. Okay. So yesterday, Cotter paid off his entire house. And we're not talking a little house. From my understanding, he has quite a large house. And that was through trading and all of his profits from crypto and using the methods that TRI teaches. So I thought it would be great to have him on today because honestly, some of my best picks were from Cotter. And so I thought, what better way to celebrate Bitcoin hitting 90K than to have Cotter on? That's actually Cotter's screen in the background. So I'm going to shrink myself and we're going to jump into what Cotter thinks of the market. I'm going to ask questions. You guys can ask questions and let's just use the next hour to pick Cotter's massive brain. Just drain him of everything and use it for ourselves. Okay? Sound good? Sound good, Cotter?
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm going to shrink myself. You guys don't want to see my face the whole time. I'm going to get very small and I will provide reactions to what I see on the charts. So before we kind of start with the charts, Cotter, do you want to give any background on yourself a little bit?
Well, I own my own business, which is nothing to do with trading. Of course, that's my hobby business. So that keeps me going so that I can not have to worry about surviving on what I'm taking out of the market. My whole plan the last several years, 5 years, I can count that it's been in my head that I'm going to pay my house off trading Bitcoin. And so, yeah, this week that was accomplished. And I look at a lot of things and I'm very patient. And it took a long time. So we can go through some of that. My impatience is when I first started with everything back in 2017 when we're looking at the BTC dominance chart because that just kind of walks through my history because I started in Bitcoin back here. If you can see, yep, back in March of 17. That's when I bought my first Bitcoin. I was right in the middle of the whole bull run in 2017. And I didn't know what to do. I was just buying shit and everything went up. Nothing wasn't going up, for the most part that people were keeping an eye on. So everybody made money here. And I was so exuberant. But over here, I didn't know when to get out. I didn't know anything about BTC dominance or how coins were going to run or chart patterns or anything else. And here I was stuck with, I won't say how many Bitcoin. And as it went up here, you'd think, oh gosh, Bitcoin's going way up. Well, this is when it was dying and I was and I had freaked out and sold the bottom when it was making a triangle, which we can look at macro later in $16,000 area or $6,000, dollar area. And I just sold it and I'm just said, well, I'm just going to wait for it to go down. And I was watching Tone Vays at the time and I saw the symmetrical triangle he was saying. So I was just like, oh, Bitcoin to 1,000. But then I started learning a lot more measurements during that time. And I was watching Brian during that time, but not signed up. I was watching him on YouTube. I started learning so much about 886s and 786s and fibs, right? So once we got down into the 786 to 886 range, I just started to just basically, it looked like it was consolidating. So I just all in everything I
Cotter,
sell.
I'm gonna stop you for 1 second.
Yeah,
Are you
go
talking
ahead.
about your accumulation of Bitcoin?
Yeah, well, I bought
Okay, so
everything I
right
wanted
now,
all the way in here.
but normally you buy based on a market cap dominance, or do you think it'd be better to look at the
No,
Bitcoin
I'm just
chart when
talking
you're?
about history. We can look at the price chart too, but
Maybe it would be
like
good to look at the Bitcoin chart while you're talking about
yeah,
this.
we can talk about it in here. So we see
Yeah.
this. Let me just, I've got all kinds of charts that we'll look at today, but I was seeing this. Let me get rid of my stupid magnet so we can do this quicker. This is what I was looking at the time, trying to learn something. And here was the symmetrical triangle. And right here, I sold everything. I thought, oh, we're going to just drop, you know, because we're through this wick and we wicked through those. And I sold everything basically right about at this bar, 6,200, 6,000. And we went up here and I was like, oh, should I get back in? And it's down here. Oh, I did the right thing. And it's up here. Oh, should I get back in? And I never did. I just waited because I was watching Brian and I was watching Tone Vase right in here. Those are the two guys I was watching. And Tone Vase says, that's remember the song, that popular song that says, you know, Bitcoin's going to 1K or whatever. But I was watching Brian too. And then I watched and he was talking about W's in here. And at shorter time frames, I'm looking at W's and I'm seeing consolidation and I'm looking at fibs. And I said, oh, I'm going all in right here. So I took everything that I sold at 62 and bought it in at 3680. And so then at least I had more Bitcoin than I started with when everything was looking like garbage up here. And I rode it all the way up here, and we're going to the moon, and I'm watching new influencers that talk about owning the Wyckoff trademark and all of that. And I'm like, okay, I'm following this guy. And then he was wrong. And then we blew into here. And by here, I quit watching that guy. I was watching Brian, and we went up in here, and I still really didn't know what to do. And we got through here, and I started having my neck surgery. Everything started going through, and I didn't have time for Bitcoin. It was COVID and all that other baloney. And it went down in here, and I'm sitting in the chair with, you know, just getting prepped to go into the surgical center in March. And my wife's like, oh, and she watches charts. She's just like, oh, she knows. For some reason, she knew better than I did by this time to buy it's low. You should buy a bunch now. And I wasn't interested. So she went and bought some.
Oh,
So she's
wow. That's impressive.
So, and then we got up here. We're in April, we're in May, we're in June. And I'm thinking, you know, and finally I'm back on it again. I've been on the site with TRI. And what do I see going on right here? And I also do, by the way, I've read a bunch of stuff from Bulkowski about chart patterns and head and shoulders and different things like that. So I combine what Brian says with a lot of Bulkowski. I've read 3 of his books. And so what did I see right here is this to me was basically a tight, on a macro term, a tight right shoulder. So to me, this was an inverse head and shoulders, right? So I bought a whole bunch more right here. And I've been mining, by the way, as a side note, since 2017. I've had S9s for a while, and now I've got S19 XPs going, and it warms my house. So, you know, it pays for itself warming the house and then some over time. And I've still never sold any of that.
Oh, wow.
But I did sell the stuff that I accumulated over here, or accumulated right over here. That's what I sold lately to buy my house. And I took that stuff and I gambled a little bit with it, and stuff Brian wouldn't be supportive of necessarily, because I definitely took some risks, but with a portion. It's like if I lost it, it would hurt. But if I didn't, I had other things that I wasn't risking like that. So I was doing so all the way over in, I accumulated here. And once I accumulated in this, and I DCA'd all the way down from 40, about this drop right here, I just started accumulating and DCAing, and then right in this area, I had a nice stash put aside, and I saw that little W, and I just aped in all the way up into the 22s area, and then I quit because then it came down under my buy. I just held. I just felt like it was going, looked good, and so I did. Basically, I bought my house by playing around with mostly with Femex on base. The idea was a shorting Ethereum against Bitcoin, but I was doing it really short Ethereum and a little bit long Bitcoin as a backstop in case I totally blew it on Ethereum. But it took me from in here, so where we were at April, right in this area, April of 23 until November of 24, I've been playing perp markets.
Wow.
And I paid my house off I'll tell you, I started with 2 Bitcoin. I won't tell you what I ended up with, but it was enough to pay off my house. And that was I posted what that was in the Discord. So it was almost 250 grand that I just paid my house off with. I still have enough to pay taxes, and we
So
have enough to take.
you didn't touch your spot account at all. This is only from your perp trading account.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so amazing. I mean, I've got
right, so
bags.
We're not going to be talking about where Cotter lives on this show. His identity is going to be kept very secret.
Yeah, well, I do that online anyway because I have a job that, if anything that I say online, because I can get pretty caustic sometimes, I just don't need that to ever leak into my personal world. So that's why I'm Cotter and not my name. But but yeah, so it was a gamble. I was thinking I could just pay it off probably with the top if we hit it with my other bags and sell half of the bags I've been holding forever. But I still have all my bags. I didn't have to touch them, and I just took two from the accumulation period, and I gambled them away. No, I didn't gamble them away. I gambled them up. But the thing is, so I'm comfortable with macro. So the short of this is, I do some day trading for practice and stuff too. But we all know how it's irritating to take a loss, but you've got to put a stop loss in and take your loss. And I just doing that every day and running a business is it's stressful. So I don't do it a lot unless I have a lot of time, and I do it with a little bit. And I always try to set up like Brian does with 2-to-1s and sometimes 3-to-1s and take my profits. When they're there, I'll take half on a double or a triple on short-term stuff, and then I just keep my bag. It's a forever bag of that stuff. So I've got, Doge and Litecoin and all this stuff sitting around waiting to do something. Dogecoin's doing something. Litecoin, I don't like that coin anymore.
It's apparently a meme coin now.
Yeah, good luck. It's a meme, all right. I mean, it'll probably bounce at some point, but
I think it will.
One of the things I can show you guys is my ETH to BTC chart, which I will later, or excuse me, my LTC BTC chart.
So the first thing you mentioned that was interesting was about perps. So what do you guys that are watching, do you have any questions about perp markets and trading on leverage and stuff like that? Do you have any burning questions about that? Because it sounds like Cotter has a great strategy for trading perps, and now is your time to ask about that. I think for me, the big thing that I was curious about was that can you mention again how, so first of all, your ideal leverage you use, and then so you were talking about how you don't like constantly being stopped out and taking trades over and over. So can you repeat how you maneuver around that?
Yeah, so I didn't have to adjust too much. I mean, it'd be complicated to go through, but I was doing it based on looking at the FBTC chart, which I'll show you guys. I have that up here somewhere, I think. Here, let me pull it up here really quick. I do have it.
I think it's interesting. Cotter uses his browser for TradingView still, old style. Yeah, I use that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. What the heck did I do with that? I'm sorry. Bear with me a minute. I thought I put that in this rack that we're looking at now, but I obviously did not.
It's okay. So. Somebody asked, how much did you pay in funding rate?
If I tell that, then I'm going to start giving away how big my account got. But
he doesn't want to give away how big his account got. So
yeah, I don't.
I don't think Finnair, he'll know off the top of his head that the percent of the total whole thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it wasn't anywhere near what I made. Let's put it that way. Okay, so you guys can see this chart here. It's my FBTC chart. So I've been doing harmonics since before I got into doing, just because it's stuff to learn. So I'm always dragging up new stuff to learn. So I've got, you can see in this chart, I've got like a cycle pattern that's cycling in and cycling out. And I did measurements that I liked for me. And I've been studying Livermore cylinders. So I did have ETH up in here because I was measuring out a Livermore cylinder, which is what this is right here.
Mm-hmm.
And basically we'd get up there and consolidate on the line and I'd sell. And then I was trading FD to BTC doing this on the way up. And then we'd get down here and I'd buy more. And we got up here and we just tagged that. And I got to sell about right at this green line. And I picked up some more, tagged it there and decided it wanted to go up. And then you let it ride. So Livermore cylinder basically operates off an eighth wave, breaking the structure of the cylinder. And so once it got up in here, I wasn't selling yet. But what happened right here looks like a couple of things to me. I've got a head and shoulders going on right here, right? That's what I see.
Yep.
And then the other thing I'm seeing is Brian's favorite unfavorite letter is the M. And so I hadn't done anything yet. I was in June 22. And we're start getting over here and we got this. And I showed you guys earlier, I started it in 23. But as soon as we started getting this, I started measuring out a harmonic. And I've posted this chart 100 times online on Discord. So I was shorting ETH to USD in this area with a lot more leverage than I was using for the other side, which was BTC long. And as ETH was dying off here, BTC was bottoming. So all the way through this April 23 is when it started. So back in here. So BTC was holding on and it was going up, but ETH to BTC was going down. So I shortened ETH to BTC with 5x leverage, but I was long BTC USD with 2x leverage. That's how I started. And then
so you do keep the leverage pretty low. You stay below 10, I'm guessing.
I'm never in a hurry to lose money.
Okay. That's a key point, everybody. Keep the leverage low.
But it also takes patience because we've seen, if you go back, everybody can go back historically on weekly and monthly charts and look at how long it takes Bitcoin to bottom. And Bitcoin's a great tool to look at for when you want to try and time other things. And all in here, everybody's like, alt season. And I'm like, it ain't alt season yet. It's time. There's, and I'm not necessarily measured to the 4-year cycle, but it surely isn't on a 2 or 3 month cycle when you are going into a bear market. I know it's a year. So I had to switch it up a bunch in this area because Bitcoin started making such crazy gains when it was doing candles that even though ETH to BTC was going down, my account sometimes was also going down. So I switched back out a few times in this area where I was short only 2x.
Cotter, I'm going to interrupt real quick. The Zoom says we're going to run out of time. So I'm going to make a new Zoom meeting and I'm going to have to send you another invite on Discord to rejoin.
All right, I'll have to open Discord again.
All right, so I'm gonna close this and make a new one. So everybody watching, just hold on. We're just gonna take a brief intermission while I send Cotter a new invite. So just one moment. All right, Zoom. There we go. Reopening new meeting. All right, just hold on 1 second, guys. We will get Cotter back here. He's got a lot to talk about. And listen to what he's saying, because he is very successful and he's made a lot of good points already. Points that even I need to listen to. Let me see. How do I invite him? Invite. Copy invite link. All right. All right. We should be getting him back here any second now. Sorry, guys, for the intermission. Think of it as a bathroom break. Chris
I
is
was gonna
talking.
say I could oh let me stop talking. I'm sorry.
You can talk. We're live.
Oh. Yeah. I forgot about that. But I'll type this out in the Discord.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so let me pull up the chat. Yeah, so 3 to 5x I think is a safer leverage. I think leverage is a tool and you can go to a higher amount, but massively decrease the amount of money that you're using in that leverage account. You have to like if you're gonna do 100x leverage, okay, use $100. All right, Cotter's back. He's back. So Cotter, just share your screen and we'll get going.
All right,
Thank you everybody for waiting. And we will talk about what does that train mean.
We'll talk about that if I can figure out where my tools went for joining screen. Damn it. I moved them when we were talking to Chris, and now they're gone. Where'd they go?
Cole says by low leverage you mean 100x, right?
Shoot, I don't have the.
Hey guys, while we're waiting for Cotter to fix his screen, why don't you post some questions that you have? Like any coins you want his opinion on, any stocks. He's also an expert at trading stocks.
What the heck? My tool screen for sharing screen have disappeared.
You should be able to just go to the bottom and click, and it should pop up. Just scroll, put your mouse over the bottom area.
Nope.
Oh.
I moved them to a newest screen, and now they're not coming back at all.
Okay, technical difficulties, everyone. Cotter will figure it out. Rune, please. Interesting to see what it underperforms. Also Ethereum. Okay, so we got 2 already.
I'll be darned. Yeah, I can't find this stupid share tool.
Do you wanna exit and rejoin? Maybe it'll show up. Ensure screen sharing is enabled as the host. I think screen sharing is enabled. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's enabled. Host tools, share screen, allow all participants.
It's my side. I've always had a problem with this 3-screen setup. Probably.
This is what happens when you're too successful. You end up buying so many monitors that are such a high resolution that you then lose track of everything. Okay, so we got a couple coins. The longer you take Cotter, the more coins they're going to want you to look at.
Oh boy. Well, if Zoom is temporary too, that makes things a real fun time, doesn't it?
Yes, we have 38 minutes again.
Okay. Shoot.
Thank you guys for waiting. All right. In the meantime, I will share some of my own charts.
Yeah, share some of yours while I monkey with
so Cotter's looking. Silver had a major pullback here, so I wanted to just point this one out for you guys. Big pullback, took out liquidity zone down here. This was basically the buy below 30 yesterday. If I go to a lower time frame chart, like right here, 8 hour, you can see RSI crossover that's happening. This was my quintessential buy right here, right at this tag area, this $29 to $30 area. You could still get in up here. I'm expecting us to move quite a bit higher, but this was your pullback area. We rejected from my 2.618. We came back, retested this reload zone area, and we're gonna head up to 43. So that's what I'm seeing. I think it's a great time to get into silver. I like it as a buy. DXY should cool off in the near future. I'm watching this very closely, and we're printing a 7, and we're coming into the midpoint of my uptrending channel right here. See this? Coming into the midpoint, and once we tag that, I expect a rejection. I don't expect it to go above that. It's already getting kind of rejected from taking out the previous highs. Thai baht, unfortunately, is so strong that things are not getting that much cheaper in Thailand. I'm a little bit disappointed. Massive dollar, like Trump. This is all Trump. This is Trump victory here. How about those Trump cabinet picks, Cotter? How are you feeling about that?
Well, I was a little disappointed when I started seeing things like Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, and I was a little real disappointed when it leaked that John Thune was probably going to win in the secret Senate ballot. We're getting leaks in a different from different people now, that at least we're able to start seeing some cabinet leaks Trump had last time, which were all bad, and now we're getting ones that actually people get to have some say over. So I like that. But what I really liked yesterday, so yesterday I was on cloud nine. I paid off my house, and Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of Defense. Love that guy. Tulsi Gabbard is the Director of National Intelligence. Love her. What was the other one that was great yesterday? There's one more.
Matt Gaetz.
Oh, Gates. You know, he's kind of like a young Trump in a way. I'm not a Trumper. I like disruption, and I just want things to be disrupted of how they've been going lately in politics. So
yeah,
I don't care. The only person I ever have campaigned for is Ron Paul. I'm pretty, libertarian-esque, but maybe even more conservative.
Lean into Bitcoin and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you believe
so,
in them and stuff like that.
So I just like to see some things change. Whether I don't care who it is, but this same old for the last 20 years has got to go. As soon as George Bush Jr. decided we needed to attack Iraq, my whole view on the entire world changed, and I started to learn that everything they tell us is a lie. So that's kind of where I sit with that. So let's see what happens right now. I'm not celebrating until
I'm just talking about it in relation to markets, because this is the whole reason the markets are pumping, right? I mean, they're euphoric about the potential for massive GDP growth in the U.S., an explosion in the future.
Yeah, and I think there's a bunch of that going on. I mean, there's different companies that have different views and will go up, I think, because of this. And I'm still trying to kind of map a bit of that out. I want to see once it's in office what their focus and ideas are. But I think infrastructure is a great place to start playing right now. I have my wife in some infrastructure stocks I've had when they started talking about infrastructure in Trump's first term, that just kind of lollygagged around, but they just started booming finally after all these years.
Yeah, so that's what I want to segue into. Once we can get your stream back up, Anna Lisa asked, why talk about politics? Well, the only reason I care about politics is because I want to know how it's going to affect my money, and then by extension, everybody listening. And we want to look at what are the companies to invest in. I mean, if you thought that before the election was over, I was talking about politics just a tiny bit. I try to avoid it, but I spoke about it a little bit because I thought, okay, in the event of a Trump win, what stocks will pump? And the most obvious one was Tesla, which I was talking about for weeks, about Tesla. And what happened? Tesla massively pumped. and also crypto
Yeah.
massively pumped. Those are two big things related to Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is like Trump's right-hand man now. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. So if you
Yeah.
went with that theory, then you made massive profits. Like my stock portfolio was up over 30% in the past 2 weeks. And I took a bunch of profits a couple days ago, and I'm glad I did. And
Yeah.
now I'm looking to buy back on the pullback that's happening.
Yeah, the other thing was when Elon got invited, I knew Doge was in there. You guys see my
Yeah.
screen now?
Let me
Okay.
see. All right. Yeah. All right. We got it back. All right. We are
Yeah.
back in business, everybody.
All right. So
Hopefully didn't. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. So
I always believe Doge is going to pump because
well, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's organize this a little bit.
Well, I was going to relate it to what happened with the politic part, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, let's just go with it. So we'll talk about how politics have affected things a little bit, and then maybe we can look at some of your future predictions of what you expect the new administration, how you expect it to affect stocks and crypto, and which ones in particular. Maybe we do that for like 10 minutes, and then we jump back into like, where do you expect Bitcoin to go over the next couple weeks? Because I know you specialize in kind of like the macro viewpoint. And then after that, maybe we jump into like some smaller coins and your opinion on the different sectors and what you think is going to be the most maybe successful coins or successful sector. So go ahead.
Okay, so where did you want me to start?
No, go with what you're going to do. Talk about
stocks. So I don't have a lot of
no. Talk about Doge and the relation to the
Okay, so Doge was a political decision. Yeah, so I see all these nice W's in here. www by the w.com, right? We talk about that. I've been buying and little old lading, and then I started as soon as we knew this is weekly, yeah. So as soon as we knew over here in August, that we knew that Elon was getting on board, and the more I saw him getting on board, the more I kept buying Doge in here. I always wished for a drop back down to 7 cents, and I would have probably bet the moon. But I was using Brian's tools and watching these W's and watching the range, and we W'd right in the middle of the range here. And I bought a bunch more. I was talking to Cole on the Discord about it, and then I just where we wish it would go to buy more, but then I just bought a big sack right here. And so I sold half. Right at about 38 cents just recently. And because I expect a pullback still. You can see this little white line I have drawn. I think we could go up and hit this 466 chaos. Chaos is my favorite tool now, by the way. When we get into erratic season, I throw everything else out the window and use chaos. Love it. So I kind of expect it to top out in here a little bit. And Julian, you and I both use the TD, and I've been using it forever.
Yeah. Why do you
we're on an 8 now.
Why do you keep all the numbers? Why don't do you really pay attention to like the 1, 2, 3, 4? Don't you feel like it clutters the chart?
Oh, down here or up here?
Well, with your so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why keep those? Why not just keep the 7, 8, 9, or even just the 8 and 9?
Oh, because sometimes I find that consolidation happens in a certain number range between 1 and 5. See all of this stuff, but then if you get a 9 and then you get a 5. Usually I expect a consolidation after a 5. If I get a 9 and then a 5, especially with the 50-week moving average is something that I use. If I start seeing 5s around the 50-week and I get consolidation, I usually buy the next consolidated low after that. It doesn't even have to go to 9. 6, 5, 6s are fine with me. And then I'll let it go up. And then I might trim a little on the 9 and let it come back. But you see this little consolidation on the 50-week. And I'm getting a 1, 2, 3, 4 in there, and things are making its own little W right here on a lower time frame. And I won't go through all the lower time frame stuff, but I'm buying right here. I'm buying hard. And we go up here and we're getting into 7. But when I see an 8 before a 9 drop like that, usually I will start evacuating out of the 8 and try to let it come back into Brian's favorite EMAs or SMA EMA range. and then watch it. If it consolidates and starts a W out of it, I'll buy again. And if it breaks down below, I wait for another W. I'm big on macro. I hardly ever use anything shorter than daily. But now you've got this 50 crossing the 200 in this chart on Doge. I'm just buying in here, man. Buy. And then I'm looking for first on a lower time frame. This would be the daily out of this 877 here. And then the next number I was looking for was 2618. And we were about to push and hit that. And I take profits earlier sometimes than Brian does, and sometimes I take them later. It depends on price to action. Everybody has their own thing, but we hit this 877. And so all I expected was us to wick into that 2618, which we still may do on a 9 next week. But I took half my profits right in here because I have a bunch. So we can go up here and hit this 466. But what I'm looking for now that we've mentioned that, is I want to come up here and have these highs from look left. I want to have those basically. I would love to have one more dip into here and have this big, weird, oblong, inverse head and shoulders looking W thing. And then I think it's entirely possible in my mind to hit anywhere from $2 to $5. So I'm looking to buy. If I get what I want down in here and we're still above Brian's weekly EMAs and we don't get underneath 23 cents, I'm really interested, especially if I start seeing this rounded bottom or even a spiky one and come up here and just give me a bull flag right there and go. That's a monster setup for me for a big run with all this consolidation. That's going to pop.
So that's 23 cents. That's your buy zone, correct?
A little higher, actually. If it looks like it's rounding around 26 cents, so that we're using kind of over here. I always look left. If we can get this area as support, I don't want it to go below 23 cents. I want it to consolidate or even spike and reject with wicks and start going up here and give me one last little chance.
And you're gonna watch the weekly chart for all of this, or you check the daily?
I watch the daily too. I'm not going to go through all the daily and weekly, but the weekly shows my how I look at everything right here. The weekly is that's what I trade. I have a job, I have to work, I have to travel. I don't have time for 4-hour charts unless I'm sitting here for a week or two.
So there you go, guys. That's an important thing that Cotter just said. Like, if you have a job and you have other stuff to do and you want to make tons of money, but you don't want to be bothered too much with trading, focus on like a weekly chart. The lowest you go to is a daily. You start going lower than that, you're becoming a full-time trader. So you got to people like to go these really low time frames, but actually the easiest time frames to trade are weekly and daily, and then you just have patience.
Yeah, well, if most of the people I know or watch, I just end up making more money because I don't try to force a day-to-day trade. I just don't. I'm not interested in 2%. I'm interested in 200%. So the only way you can see that and feel it is and have patience. If you're looking at it day to day, hour to hour, you're going to drive yourself insane. I know it drives me insane. That's how I feel. And, if I can get a feeling of consolidation happen, and I give myself stop losses, I might take a 30% loss if I went below, or 50% loss even, from where I was buying at it, like 4.5 cents. If we broke out of this range, I'm getting out. That's just what I do, and so what if I took a hit? Wait for a new setup and try it again. It's just, you got to get over the emotional part of it or you'll never get there, ever.
Yeah, I would say that's a big thing. So would you agree that you basically combine higher time frame setups on a daily and a weekly chart along with macro fundamental analysis of your own?
Yeah. And my fundamentals when it comes to shitcoins is time. Time is the fundamental value to me in shitcoins. If you're going to try and do it every week and every month and it ain't ready and other things aren't all going, like it was popcorn season to me when we were getting little doubles and alts back, in February when we were in El Salvador. I got a whole bunch of doubles. I bought a bunch of stuff just before I got on the plane, and it was fun meeting with everybody and just looking at the chart and watching almost everything I bought double. And I had my doubles preset and crake, and I didn't have to do anything. So So it was good. You know, and then I let my doubles sell and I let everything digest and you know, then I had more time. You know, I was really slow in February. So I was working on 4 hour in one day, but very seldom will you see me on a 30-minute chart unless I'm trying to scalp SQQs and stuff like that, lower time frame stuff. So because you can make a bunch of money. I made a bunch of money this year when I had time doing SQQ, QQQ, TQQ, sorry. You know, I had some losses too, but I never bet big enough.
You were scalping those with just trading in and out of SQQ and TQQ. You didn't, or they were using options.
No, I'm just learning options. And so, which is very revealing, but I've been so busy, I missed some classes in level 3. So I'm trying to catch up right now, but I got to leave again next week. So, but, that's why I wanted to get in level 3 so bad, because of the options part, because I know that you can spend a little with the right mindset and make a ton. So I haven't gotten there yet. And I don't leverage S coins, by the way, ever, but I know you do. I just can't do it. It stresses me out. So
all right, so that's your opinion on Doge and expectations.
Yeah, so that's just Doge and my mindset. The reason I think it's going to moon like mad is because Elon, you know. So, but I'm not dumb enough to go all in, because you don't know, anything can happen. You know, no one knew COVID was going to do to the market what it did. And I'm not saying that's going to happen again by any means, but anything can happen. Anyone can get shot. Any war can start that offsets, you know. So I always try to at least have a stop and a mindset and cash on hand.
Yeah.
So I'm never screwed, or I can take advantage of, you know, something that goes super cheap. So that's it. So it's always good to have lots of cash and be making money on more certain setups and not force it, and look at the long-term view. You can play it short term and look at it, but make sure that you see stuff you like this.
That's the most important thing that people miss.
You know?
Make sure to focus on looking at the bigger picture. Don't get stuck in the weeds.
Yep.
So speaking of bigger picture, I would love to hear your bigger picture view on the Bitcoin and the market as a whole. Maybe S&P, maybe the NASDAQ, something like that.
Yeah, so in options class, I'm just going to summarize something really quick. In options class, I learned something nice this week about option expiry dates and trying to do, which works with just regular trading, but how the market can react. So November 18th, 15th, and 18th, we have a lot of big index expiry for options happening. So I think we're flat this week. And I think once we get through it, next week through December expiry, we're going to probably moon. So 18th of December, you're going to make money in the stock market. Buy indexes if you don't know what stock you like. And if you really think the Qs or the S&P is going to go up, I use the leverage. I'm going to get ready to buy a bunch of leveraged after next week, leveraged TQQ, TQQ, and the SPX. I forget what their
SPXL
multiplier is.
SPXL.
Yeah. Yep. So that's one. But I usually stick to the Qs, because when things get volatile, it just moves, and it seems, you know, I get more percentage. So TQQ, SQQ are my favorites.
Well, let's talk about those when you're sharing the S&P chart. So do you want to go over your Bitcoin targets now, or you want to talk about S&P?
Let's do Bitcoin targets really quick, because I like to show my macro charts, because they're always my favorite. So I use a whole bunch of tools. This is a rainbow tool that's a logarithmic regression rainbow tool that I found quite some time ago, and boy, does it work.
Can you show this one? Is this a free indicator?
Yeah, you should be able to find it.
Can we see it? I would love to see it.
BTC log rainbow dark.
All right, there you
go,
it's guys.
Searchable in the indicators. I don't remember when I found that, but it's been a long time. I like it. So macro wise, and it's different than any of the rainbow charts and logarithmic charts anybody uses, but the first half of our life after the first cycle, we were living above this center line of the rainbow chart. And then right here is when it in my eyes, kind of broke down to the next time around, it's probably going to be the resistance zone. But we got above it one more time weekly. This is
can you
weak
make your
to me.
screen like full screen? Can you like make in the top right corner? Can you click that full screen thing? Nope, not that one.
It just makes it small.
That one. Next to publish on the left. Yeah, that one. Full screen
Ah,
mode.
okay.
And
Is that better?
Can you also double click on your chart?
Yeah, let me get rid of the
We don't need to see
indicator.
the moving average stuff.
We don't need the
Yeah.
indicators.
There we
I
go.
do
And
use
then in
those,
your
but yeah.
browser, well, yeah, I think it's fine. It's fine. We should have optimized getting rid of your bookmark bars and stuff. There's just so much wasted real estate, but it's okay. This is good. This is better.
Okay. So these right here, these things I'm using basically is I'm using a couple of things. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, that's the two-year MA multiplier is what I'm using. And then
is that what that bull confirmed and bear confirmed thing is?
Yeah, well, that's pi cycle. So I have the pi cycle on here too.
Oh,
so I
okay.
kind of use those in combo here, plus this rainbow chart. I have a lot of stuff going on right here. So this red line's the 2-year MA multiplier, and then the green is the bottom of that. I don't know what the MA is for that multiplier someone made up, but basically when this thing's shaded green, that means accumulate all you can. Over here it was a little tricky because of COVID, but accumulated green again, and even I wasn't going to do it. I waited till we were up here and I saw my inverted head and shoulders look. I knew we were consolidating upwards. But anyway, so long term, we hit that top of the 2-year multiplier again, but it was really weak. So I had a hard time in here too. But I didn't, and I held most of it. I did sell some just because I was unsure, because I was, this right here, you could see if you look at RSI, which I don't have on this chart, that this was a lower high than we had over here by quite a bit. And we did touch it right there. So I sold some, but I actually held most of this even again, all the way to the bottom. But I had extra money. I work. I live well within my means. DCA, we're in green. So like once we got down into this area, right here was FTX. Boom. And I wasn't expecting it. No one was. But when it hit that candle and we got a consolidated W, boy, was I was grabbing everything I had money for right in here. Boom, all the way through this. And then as soon as we popped out of here, I never bought any again until we dipped down into 56 right over in here, this area. And I bought twice at 56 in that area. That was a buy zone for me, 56. But I haven't bought any since. But I was playing with the perp market all the way through there. And that's a long story. I don't want to go through all of that. But as far as my forever bags, that was degenning. So as far as my forever bags and stuff I'd accumulate, still feel confident. So I'm using this, and I'm using time frames historically. We topped in March over here for COVID. And so I'm looking for another potential top in March of 25, and everybody else says, oh no, we're going to September, and that might be so. But and I'm with that idea because my 2-year multiplier MA is going to be a lot higher than 216. So I don't know where this is going to be when we get over to March, but we start hitting anywhere around 168. I'm going to be looking for signs to get the heft out. And then I have a few scenarios too.
So
I mean, December.
You're not going to sell until 168,000. That's your
No,
first sell?
listen. I hold strong opinions loosely. I'm starting to look. I'll start looking for tops anywhere in here in the one. I'm expecting 120 to 130. No problem. That's what I'm expecting.
Okay.
If we hit the 130 and then break what I'm definitely expecting, and we do that in December, then I'm expecting a pullback into March instead of peaking in March. And then March becomes where I'm subjectively looking to load up again, because if we start making a top sign in December, if we go up and hit 168 area, which I think is highly possible, not probable, in December, because Bitcoin always does the unexpected. And nobody's expecting it to hit 168 in December. Very few people are that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And if we go to do something stupid like that, am I going to take some profits? You bet your ass I am. That's a 10x from where I loaded up down here. I'm going to take some mad profits. And this is profits on stuff I've been holding forever. I'm finally going to really take profits on this, stuff. And for real, if it does something stupid like that. Otherwise, I'm looking to get into the, I'm going to be starting to look for topping signals from 113 to 130 potentially. But if we come up here and my hypothesis is right, that this middle line that has been support historically leading back to after the first cycle starts to become resistance right here in March, I mean, that's a pretty high number. I mean, 211. So, but I'm going to be looking, I've got other stuff I'll show you in a minute that has fib stuff and different things I've drawn up where really 130 to 150 is a top potentially for me also with using chaos and other things. So I'm always on the lookout for tops.
Well,
but this does
my
not
question to you would be, why do you think that we could get to like 130 in December? What that makes you think that?
FOMO, baby.
Just FOMO.
FOMO.
And
but
you're not concerned that the stock market is topping out? Like maybe like my concern is that the macro market could top out and pull crypto down, because I think they're very interconnected now that Wall Street owns a huge chunk of Bitcoin. So you're not concerned about the like why don't we jump over to the S&P and talk about your view there really quick? Like try to describe your, I know I'm asking a lot, but try to describe your S&P view in like under 5 minutes.
I have to get that one out because I don't have, oh yes I do. I have it right over here. Okay. Let me put this on bigger time frame.
So you mostly watch, yeah, NASDAQ is good. That's more interconnected with Bitcoin than the S&P actually.
Okay. So in S&P, NASDAQ, what do we have here? We have, I love GAN, level 2, and my other man crush that runs that show.
Click and make it full screen again.
Oh yeah.
Just get rid of we don't need the momentum stuff. Yeah, there you go.
No, we don't. Okay, so I had a little bot, obviously, as we can see marked out here. We hit this 127 area and we're pulling back, but I'm measuring this big bot. Let me make this bigger. We've got a channel. I've got this big bot, and for measuring from October 23, and then coming over here to August when we got this big reversal green candle off this channel that I have marked. And this one I don't do in log. So, most stuff I do in log. This one I don't. And I use the 5 EMA when I'm looking at lower time frames to see how it's acting around the 5 EMA. I'm not going to go through all that right now, but I do use that. But this candle right here to me was like, we're going back up. So I'm buying. And I bought, I TQQQ'd through here, and then we got this red candle off this funny little ending candle. And this is just like a pullback to me for like a wave 1, 2. And so I was SQQing in here, and then I got out. And then as soon as this candle crossed above the 5 EMA again, I was TQQing all the way up into here, and I got out.
Guys, just so you know, when he says TQQ, he means 3x long on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, exactly. And so in a lot of this area, I've been traveling and working, so I hadn't really had a chance to trade too much in here. So I missed this big greenie right here. I didn't have a get back in here. You missed
the Trump trade? How could you miss the Trump trade?
I was on a nuclear sub. No joke.
Oh my
God. I get contracted from government to do various little high-speed camera projects, so I've been busy, which is good because I have more money to put in the market.
Amazing.
But
right, so what do you think is going to happen with the market? We went over the past.
Okay.
Now what about the future?
Here's what I think. So here's what I think is going to happen. This is a beautiful candle to hear for me right here on the weekly. This is this week that we're in right here. If this week comes up and it holds the 5 EMA and ends up with a wick, that's a hammer, not necessarily a topping hammer to me, a bullish top hammer. If we hold and hold in this area, that we're generally in right now, around 21, give or take, and especially into next week, even with a consolidated candle, we could invariably go back and do a wick test to 20,700, which would be ideal for me to see that wick yet again and then break this high. I'm gonna throw some serious dough at it because I think, I don't know exactly how.
I mean, would you look on a daily chart to kind of make those conclusions?
Yeah. Yeah, for instance, I might even look at the 30-minute chart, how I'm running how I'm looking at the 5-day EMA. But right now, what it's doing is turning down this 5 EMA.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an attractive target area for me. But I don't mind if we hold right in this area. For now, I think we're going to hold in this area. So after the monthly expiries for the indexes end this week and next week, it really is depending on if this 5 EMA is going to start stair stepping back up for me. We need to get back above it, and it needs to start looking like this again over here. You can see that step.
Yeah.
Step.
So for right now,
step.
You're leaning. So just based on the 5 EMA, right now you're leaning bearish. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not doing anything right now because this is this is a consolidation range. And for next month, the way Brian was explaining the expiries for the options contracts tells me that after we get through this November's expiries, that it looks like upside to me. So I'm just waiting. I want to see all of this stuff, accumulate or, consolidate right in here. We could get a wick low. I would expect this wick low here, this over here in this gap. I'm almost expecting if we get a wick low that this area is actually support. If it doesn't do that, I'm not in. It has to come down here. This is the mid trend line of my channel. This is where if we get down into this area and we start doing little 30-minute W's, and then I go to a bigger time frame, and we're starting to get back up over this 5 EMA again into, the end of the month, Thanksgiving and stuff. I think that's a time. That's what I'm looking for a buy for me to get back into that market. And I'm reading a couple of things. I probably missed a bunch of people. So Red Domain asks, I
think it's just a troll. Don't worry about him. He seems like a troll. Just being very negative.
That's not. Oh, yeah, I just look at the 30-minute during the day to kind of see what it's doing around the 5-day EMA itself. I don't use it to trade unless I'm just trading that day for fun, and then I might even go to 15s, but it's very seldom. Dailies what I like.
What would be the trigger for you to enter like your 3x TQQ long?
Okay, so getting through to the end of the month, getting past the 18th. Right in this area.
Okay, so first step is get past the 18th. You're not doing anything till then.
Yep.
Okay. So then what?
No. Yeah, so I think it's going to stick right in this area. I'd like a tight consolidation right here. I don't mind a wick down to here, but if we come right back up and we get above the 5 EMA into next week, that's a buy trigger for me.
Okay.
I want to see W's. I love W's.
So little W's on the 30-minute. Stay above your central trend line. Which is around the 20,500 level, and then that would trigger a long for you. And what's your extension target for that?
So it'll depend on what happens in here. So I'm on the daily chart. So I still do things like this. I'll put on. Let me get my magnet. Oh, sorry, super biggie. Boom. All right, so we already hit the 466 of that. So if we get a W in here and I get triggered to buy, my next target's 22,200.
Okay.
And I might even once it W's in here, I might do another little fog and bomb chaos, whatever, off of here. Because it's, so I'm going to drag myself all the way out to December in my thoughts. And I think mid-December, there's a possibility, I like the midpoints. There's someone else that likes the midpoints too. But when we midpoint between the fog and bombs, I start looking too. So if we actually midpointed and we came up into here by, December 18th, December 20th, if we hit 23,000, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm going to be looking to get out
At
around
22.
22.2.
Yeah. And so
And then I can see it coming all the way back here to the 200 day again. You know what I mean? Into January, I feel like, yeah, I think there's going to be end of the year profit taking, tax loss selling, all of that. So I intend to be hands free for Christmas. I'll have no stress. I'll take whatever profits I'm going to take in December. And with what Bitcoin's doing right now, with the NASDAQ coming up in here and hitting 22, another 10% higher, that can be a double for Bitcoin. When Bitcoin's bullish and everybody thinks they're missing out because that sucker's just making big candlesticks, I'm going to dump on people.
Oh, we lost the stream again. Okay, guys, 1 second. I will get Cotter back for one final stream because Zoom does not want to give me more than 40 minutes. Hold on 1 second. And then we're going to get his final viewpoint on what is going to happen with Bitcoin. And then we'll look at a couple like smaller coins that he likes. So don't go anywhere, because the big part is what like meme coins, what altcoins does he expect to... Oh, apparently my OBS disconnected too. We should be reconnecting. All right, let me open my Discord and send Cotter the link. Sorry about this, guys. Solana. All right, we will talk about Solana. Yeah, I think Cotter takes a very pragmatic and passive approach. He definitely is more patient than me. I'm impatient. All right, my Discord is starting. All right, Cotter is waiting for me. Sorry, guys. And I do agree with his thesis. There you go. Another link. Make me another link. All right, we should have him back any second now. And I'll bring my screen up so you'll see if he joins with the participants down here. Rune and ETH. All right, so we got Rune, ETH, Solana. We're going to look at all of them.
Yeah, I've got those. Back. Yeah, sorry.
All right, so share your screen. We left off with you giving your prediction, major prediction for the NASDAQ, and then basically saying you think Bitcoin could almost double, and then you're gonna take a giant dump on everyone. Very smelly, huge dump. A nuclear one, maybe.
Possibly. Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. All right. So this line is my last line in the sand for December. If we go below that, I'm not getting in anything. 20,710. I don't like that. I'm looking left. I want this area at 27.42, 20,700. That's got to be support. Otherwise, this gapping that we see over here is basically just exhaustion gapping, and I don't believe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't have any bets on what it is until it shows me something. At this point, I want some Wing in here. I love Wing at the top when things are erratic and people are in FOMO mode. So bring it on. Let's see here. So that's just basically my thoughts on the index markets. Bitcoin is in bull mode. That's my opinion. And 10% on the NASDAQ can give you, I've watched this through the other bull runs when everything's going up. Bitcoin will, if this is a FOMO run up to here, Bitcoin's going to smoke every market on the face of the earth. That's just my thoughts. Will it bring some things with it? Yes. But that's what brings me back to my Bitcoin dominance chart. I think Bitcoin's going to be the king. There's going to be a few things that beat it. Go ahead and, place your bets on what you think it's going to be. My big money's over here. I think we're going to go to 64+% on Bitcoin dominance. And then we're going to get through January and things are going to puke. And I'll go back to the 168. I have a better chart for that. And then we're gonna, then we got to get into the end of January, is my opinion, because that's when historically, realistically, alts start to gain their footing. And I think we're going to have an 8-year cycle on LTC, which has been dragging LTC, BTC. You guys have seen that, but FBTC too. But I think Litecoin's going to perform for a.
Show a Litecoin chart. If you're going to talk about Litecoin, I got to see the Litecoin chart.
Okay, it's not ready
I'm
yet.
a visual person. I need to see what you are talking about.
I was just going to give some.
We only have about 35 minutes left, by the way. So we got to get through this
let's move
macro
on from that.
Let's
do some little coins then.
Well, Litecoin is a little coin. Can we talk about Litecoin? I actually want to know your Litecoin, because I hold a significant amount of that, unfortunately.
You're asking a lot because I have so many windows open.
Michael D is also interested in Litecoin. I bet there's a lot of people that bought Litecoin and are just waiting.
It's probably a good time to nanny nibble on Litecoin is my thoughts. I have to find the charts.
I'm especially excited about it after reading their Twitter yesterday. It turned into a full-on meme, and whoever was controlling that Twitter was actually pretty funny.
I did see that, actually, funny enough.
Why don't you just type in LTC USD? Oh, okay.
Well, I have things set up specific that they don't come up the way you'd want.
Okay.
But look how weak it's been to Bitcoin. That was my comment earlier. Eventually, everything looks like the Litecoin to Bitcoin chart eventually. Everything. Find me one that's not, they don't exist.
Okay.
Including NASDAQ and SPY. So I've had I use these fibs for down moves, and we hit this 1272. This is Litecoin versus Bitcoin. We could come so far down as to hit 510 sats at the 1414. I like the 1414. It works a lot for me. Some people don't like it, but you can see over here, this is my 8-year cycle theory in 16. But right here in February of 17, Litecoin had a change in attitude. Right?
Okay.
You guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I was in it here. I didn't know anything. March. I was just a noob. It was hanging around at 13, 15 bucks.
Yeah, but everything went up in 2017.
I know. So I'm sitting here watching this whole thing, but look at what it did. It didn't do anything during the last cycle. It pumped a little right here.
Yeah.
Then it just dies. The halving mode was the same thing here. Just died through its halving mode. Over here on the way left, died through its halving mode.
So do you think it could just be dead? I mean, or
well, I think it's gonna pump for this year at some point. I just don't know how much. I think we're gonna give me a W down here, somewhere. Give me something. It's nothing. Give me a W down here, and I think, all it's gonna do is pump up to 4,000 sats, but that's a 10x, and that's the most. So I'm just looking left. This is resistance for Litecoin to BTC right now, 2,000. So if Bitcoin's going up and LTC to BTC 4x's, but Bitcoin's still going up, you can get a 10x off of Litecoin. So it might go to $600 or $700.
Damn, that would be crazy.
So, but I'm certainly not betting a lot on that. Let's go back to a couple other charts I've got. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, I pulled up. What the hell did I pull up? You guys, these aren't ones for you guys. What the heck? Hold on.
These are secret charts. Take screenshots, everyone. Take screenshots.
You guys, yeah, those ones suck. I have 50 different charts that I look at. Trying to share a different screen now.
Okay.
I got screwed up. You guys don't see my Bitcoin dominance screen right now.
We do. I see your market cap.
Oh, okay, it's perfect.
With the little hearts and everything.
Yep, we're perfect. All right, good. Let me move on. Here's another one. I like to use this. What the heck? I forget what the GC stands for, but basically this is just kind of like a momentum channel. and I use it a lot. You get out of the red, and as you can see, it works. You're out of the red, you're buying. You want to buy strength in and out of the red. You get back down in the, this one screwed me up. This screwed everybody up. Thank God I was getting neck surgery and didn't monkey with that. I would have freaked out and sold everything, and my wife bought it. So take that for what it's worth. But here you can see, as soon as we were out of it, this was 35. I was already DCAing when we had this empire right here. I just started DCAing all the way down, little bits every week. Then when we were down here, I showed the other chart where it showed the 2-year multiplier with this area was all telling you green to buy. I was scooping it up, scoop, scoop, scoop. And once we hit the red, I quit buying. I let it do its thing. I wanted to get out of this, past this. This is a 128-day moving average. This yellow, by the way, I use that.
So Cotter, are you just kind of explaining how you use this indicator? Is that what you're showing right now? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And once we were in here, I knew we were going up, but I didn't know how high. So I wanted to see in comparison to all of these chaoses that I had going on, where we were going to end up. And so, like I said, I like midpoints for consolidation on big macro timeframes between the chaoses. So I was picking some up, and you guys saw the bear porn charts I posted too. It's always good to be aware of what could happen and not what you want to happen. So we bounced here again on the 50-week, and that's always a good sign. I like the 50-week. And so picked up a little bit more at 56 here. And then we got up and we consolidated over the 20-week and SMA and 21-week EMA, which I'm sure other people have seen other people use, that like Benjamin Cowan, but that's not the reason I use it, but I found him too. And as soon as we consolidated up out of this and we broke this way, I knew we were going up. I didn't buy more. I just knew how high. But what I was doing is I was getting out of my degen plays that I was playing on. We broke the high. This could also be a Wyckoff distribution. This could be an up move right here where we're ready to start going down. We don't know. I think it's going a lot higher, but I just made the most money in a trade I ever made in my life in the ultimate when we got right into about 80K. And I basically liquidated almost all my degen bags that I was doing in the perp contract, because it was enough to pay off my house, pay the taxes, and go on vacation with my family. Nice. And that's all I wanted in that, and I was done. Now I'm still in it with big bags.
So I'm going to stop you there. Did you guys hear what he said? He made objectives of what he wanted that were not like extreme goals. He didn't have like his whole house left to pay off. It was just a percentage of it. Don't think he was able to buy an entire house from his profits. And he was like, I just want to go on a vacation with my family. I want to pay off the house and pay my taxes. Those are small goals. And once he hit the target, once everything was in line, took profits, got the hell out, spent the money to make his life better. That's what people need to do, and they don't forget to do that. So for this cycle, make sure that you set targets for yourself, realistic goals of things you want. And when you hit it, don't say, I'm at 2 million. I think I can go to 3. Say, no, this is where I said that I would take money out. And then just put it to the side and just keep it there and wait until the world is on fire again. Don't put anything back in until you see everyone running around screaming, things like FTX exploding. It's going to happen again.
Yep. We don't know what it is, and it doesn't even have to be an FTX. It could be
AI takeover.
Take up, whatever.
Elon Musk's Optimus robots going haywire.
Yeah. I mean, Iran dumps a nuke on Israel. I mean, these are extreme things I never wish to have happen. You don't know. If you've got some profits and you can get out of...
Cotter, I'm gonna stop you. I'm sorry. We're gonna speed through this. I don't want to do it this way, but we really only have like 30 minutes left. We've already been going for it's been an hour and 20 minutes. So what would you like to look at now? We've got a couple of requests for coins. People want to look at, I think the biggest one right now is Solana. Do you think we could take a look at Solana?
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. I have this. Give me a second here to see where I have that.
Oh, look at all those coins.
And well, these ones are ones that I'm in. Everything that was with the flag up top, I'm playing with right now a little bit.
Good. Thank you for the clarification. We needed to know that.
Okay. So I haven't played on Sol for a while. I have some. Let me get rid of all this junk. What would I do now that I haven't looked at Solana for a while? That's a good question. So Solana looks a lot like Bitcoin, and we all know it's the darling of the market this time around. And I love using TD sequential. I know that, Julian likes that. So that's the first thing I do. Bring up a weekly chart, look at my TDs, look at Brian's 30 and 13, which I love. Look what happened right here, right on October 24th. We started turning green again. What would I like Solana to do? I would like Solana to come back here and test the top of Brian's bullish twist that happened right here. I would like to see a 9 happen in here and look kind of like this left 9 over here, have it be a red 9 for the next couple weeks while the market over on the index side for the TradFi is doing its thing. I would love it to come. What would I like? This is, some of it's feeling. When I see my W's, I see, I would like it to just come back and you see the highs over here to the left. I would just like it to come back and test this 192 area. That's what I'd like. If I see it come test 192
is actually a major liquidity zone. I don't know if you look at the liquidation charts, but between 185 and 195 are like major liquidation areas.
Well, that's kind of perfect in a sense. If I get a 9 and a 1, all I need is a 1 after the 9, 1 to 3 week pullback, and come and test this with a wick and then go up here and liquidate these people down to 173. Boy, that looks really attractive to me because we're still staying above these highs right here.
So you would start accumulating and buying between 190 and 173. That would be kind of your.
Yeah, I think so. I want to see some daily price action at that point, but on a weekly, that makes sense to me. It might leave without me. That's fine. I don't want it if, I don't want it.
Where do you expect it to go? Actually, what's your what are you targeting?
Okay. So if I get what I want right now, then I get my chaos tool back out again, and where I look for the W that I want that is higher than the last low, and I do it from here down to here. If I can get a retest down, I would do more chaos. If I get the daily W down in this area, we can come down to 175, 173, and then wick right back up and consolidate on the daily a little bit in here.
Yeah, let's assume that happens. Let's go with that assumption if that changes anything in your analysis.
And I'd be still sitting. So see where we're at right here? We were just about to tick that 2618. And sometimes it just falls just a little short of that before it pulls back and rips. I just, I watch that all the time. So here I'm cognizant of where I made my measurement right over here at 165. I would like it to stay above 162 is like, I'm not in this area for me right now, unless it just wicked in there and then I did a daily W and it could go up. That's kind of my parameters. And I would probably measure couple new chaoses based on how it performs. There's one for me right here where I would measure. Do I get any confluence? Not really. So I'm kind of looking for I want something to confluence with the first one I did. So I'm on a daily in here that I can measure off of somewhere and start getting some confluence with my weeklies I've already measured out. So I'm waiting for it to do, I'm waiting for some sort of little pullback or daily consolidation that I can measure a new W on. So if I go to daily now, looky there, it's on a 9 as well.
Yep.
So what am I expecting now that I look at this? Well, we still have support as long as we're above this 5 EMA for me. It's always a 5-day EMA when you see this orange for me. So where am I looking next? I really see that. So when I'm using the TD sequential I get support zones for how the TD looks at itself. So it's at 185. And we're all the way down here to 120. I don't want it to do this. If we get down here below this 122 anywhere in this next couple of weeks, I'm not doing anything unless I see a W that's going to happen. I'm going to show you. Let's see, 175. The W has to wick down into this area, which is my last line of support for me before I'm just like re-looking at this, but it needs to wick right back up into this, into the Brian's favorite SMA, or what does he call that again? It's the 13 and 30. It's like the 13 SMA and 30 EMA. Is that right? Or 13 EMA and 30 SMA. Anyway, Brian's favorite, what do we call it? Brian's bias.
Yeah.
Sorry. So this is Brian's bias that I'm using. So it can wick down into here and catch this 200 on the daily. It's got to, this is it. 155 would be absolutely it. It can wick to that, but it better wick and move right back up in there. And then I'm buying some. If I can wick and have a body in this area, especially into the second day after that, and be giving me a W on the daily, which is what I'm expecting right into Thanksgiving. I'm expecting this to come down in here somewhere and W, and then I'm going to measure a new chaos.
So you think that we're going to consolidate for a while in this area?
Just for a couple weeks.
So, a couple weeks. Well, it's mid-December or mid-November already.
Yeah.
You said I just want to take off in December. So
end of November, before Thanksgiving, we're going to see up moves. I think Thanksgiving.
So then just 2 weeks. Not. I mean, for me, a couple weeks is like 3, 4.
No,
so like 2 weeks.
A couple is 2 on the outside. So in the next week, I want this to do W. This is a W, and I want it to do it in a range and give me a W so that I can mark a chaos and see if I get some confluence over here.
Okay.
With bigger chaos targets. If I can get that, then I'm looking for a potential December of upwards of 316 by end of December.
Okay, nice.
And then more likely middle of December, like fast, like I'm not going to get a 9 on the weekly in December. Yeah. Let's go back to the weekly. We're not going to get it, we're not going to get a 9 on in December, but come up here, and that's okay. Come up here and give me a whatever you want, a 4 on the weekly. It can go 4, 5, 6, 7, I just want it to consolidate and never come back down and break 211. Yeah. So if I can get in under 211 in an area I'm comfortable with, then, and it can, as soon as it gets me in profit, I'm going to put my stop at where I basically maybe a little below where I bought. I have to measure it. I can't tell you.
I gotta ask: are you gonna trade these with perps, or are you just gonna do spot only?
No, I'm done with perps. I feel it's super stressful to trade shit with leverage.
Okay.
And I want to have a nice Christmas.
So and I just went. Prioritize so Cotter, just for everyone listening, how old are you again? I'm sorry to ask.
54.
So as you get older, and I'm realizing this as it was my birthday yesterday, and I'm 36
now. Happy birthday!
Happy belated, yes, thank you. I am learning that I also would like to prioritize more peaceful existence. So leverage definitely massively increases stress levels for everyone I speak to. So it makes sense that you want to stay kind of in spot.
Yeah.
So that's Solana. Is there anything else you wanted to say on Solana? Otherwise, I've got a lot of people asking about Rune. They want to look at Rune.
We can look at Rune.
They want to know why it's lagging. Why is Rune not pumping as much as other things?
Well, that's a fundamental thing that I guess I don't fundamental on shitcoins. I'll give you that right now.
Okay. So you consider Rune a shitcoin?
I do. Here's my thoughts. I drew something up on Rune because I thought it'd come up today. I did this last night. So right now, what I see going on, so you see this note I made last night, head and shoulders fail equals big fat gains. Mm-hmm. So I see a head and shoulders going on right here.
Yeah.
But it went down here, and now we're back up in here.
Yeah.
What do we, and we're turning green, and this is on a weekly, and we just saw head and shoulders. This is bullish to me. I know people want to see smaller time frames. I'm not a small time frame technician. I'm very, very good at macro, and I made a shitload of money doing it that way. So take that for what it's worth. I'm asking myself questions. This is a buy. Should I buy it? Should I sell a stop? Head and shoulders fail patterns equal big fat gains. And what do I mean by that? So you can take just a simple line like this, right? Let's get rid of this stupid magnet. It makes it easier. What did my head and shoulders do? It went way down here. A head and shoulders fail is going to be from its bottom fail point for me. So if it gives me some W's up here, now that we turned green on Brian's bias in the $5 area, I'm going to make double off where it came off at. If the head and shoulders fails from the bottom, I'm going to make double. So I'm going to clone this. And this is going to take time. You're not going to get Rune to pump, in my opinion, for you like you want it to until end of January at the earliest. And I think into the summer. So my target on Rune, if I get a W here, my first target is going to be $30. That's a 6x.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, and I'm just measuring this from the top of these pins right now. But if I want to, my extreme target would be a true double of that range out there.
So another 10x.
I take the conservative one. But where do I think Rune could go this summer? Or maybe late into the fall? $50.
You mean next year? So
next
year you expect Bitcoin to kind of stagnate and altcoins to rally, right?
I think you're going to have a period where both are doing the same thing come the summer, late spring maybe.
Because I know you said March 2025 you thought could be the top out area.
Well, so I have
two
scenarios. I have two scenarios going in my mind, because if we go and hit my March prospective top area in this December, I expect next year to be huge, and we're all going to get shaken out, not me, in January, going into February.
Okay.
That's my one thought. The other one is that we we have a nice ride, and then we just bullet, into March as a potential top. I have different scenarios going on in my head. So
which one is your most likely scenario? Which one do you placing your bets on?
Full top in September, October of 25 is my most likely scenario.
Okay.
So I expect the unexpected to the upside in December. I'm expecting 120 to 160, 113 to 168 in December. That's what I'm expecting. Doesn't mean I'll get it, and I'm never place yourself nakedly so that it's just going to happen. Nobody knows the future. Anything can happen. Okay. Jesus Christ could present himself, and I don't necessarily even believe he exists. So, although I'm somewhat religious, moral wise. Anyway, so I won't go there. So if this is a head and shoulders fail, then what we actually have going on here is an inverse head and shoulders and Wing happening right now, and we're going back the other way. But if we get that January, we can pump up to here. We can pump up to $11 in December. That could happen real damn easy by, look at this. So see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. December 16th. The week of December 16th, I think we could possibly be a double top at $11.
Okay. So if you were in Rune, you would take profit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then we could, I'm not in it right now. That's why I'm asking myself all these questions right now that you see on here. I mean, these are the questions I ask myself all the time. Will I dig down now into a lower time frame? Sure, let's do that. We're consolidating. It's trying to move up. We got these cool little, went down here, swept the lows of a range real quick, and then right back in it and above the 200 day. Yeah. That's a buy. That's a buy for me, because we had this nice, I'm always used to these fake outs. You get this golden cross, we call it, right? The 50 and the 200, but we went below it and then boom, we're right back up it. And we have volume. Yeah. And we have location once we get it, for me, above the 200. And then we have like this funny little head and shoulders-y things going on right here. So yeah, I mean, we could pull right back down to this 200. This is where I'd like to see support, 477 area. Mm-hmm. With a wick. I'd like it to wick. I would like this daily to not turn red again, but it could for over the next couple of weeks. But then I go back to my weekly, and we have plenty of room for it to come down here and find support all the way down to 477 again, right?
Yeah.
Same area.
Yeah.
So different things for different confluences, but you got to find some, a reason, 3 reasons. Do I have volume? Yes. I like the TD sequential. Is it giving me too much right now? Not really. It looks like it wants to shake people out to me a little bit right in here. But this is my support zone right here. It's got to hold 478, 477, can wick into there or whatever, and then start building me another W off of this. I could get into that. And then, right into, I think it's going to be a big fat bar like this guy over here. In 1 week, we went from 441 up to 11, 2 weeks, up to 1112.
Yeah.
That's the same thing I think is going to happen in December. And then I think you're going to get dumped on like all the way in through, end of January, February, and then we consolidate. And then it's this big long-term range again. Yeah. I want this to give me a big fat weekly looking head. Now my support point's different. I'm looking for $4 again. February, March, April, anywhere. And if we get that,
you think we could get a spike to like $11 and make a double top and then come back down to $4?
Yep. And what that would make for me. Yeah, what that would make for me is basically a great big. So we'd come up here. I'm not going to draw it right now. There's my point. Mm-hmm. And then come back down into this area and then start looking left over into this area again. Yeah. I want to see a $4 shoulder, give or take. And it can be a tighter shoulder. It could be a cup and handle. You just have to get there first.
That's going to set the stage. What you're looking for. And that's going to set the stage for the run to $50, in your opinion.
Yep. Yeah. Well, maybe $50, maybe $30.
30 to 50.
Yeah. 30 is where I'd be looking at taking some profits. And if it ever even took a smell of 50, I'd probably dump. And I don't have any yet, but assuming I had a bunch of it, if it got to 50, you better put your armor on, because I would dump all over you.
Okay, so we don't have that much time left. With the time remaining, you know what I would love to hear? Let's not go into detail about anything, kind of like we have with Sol and Rune. Let's not go into any details. Okay. We actually have 10 minutes. So we're not gonna have Sting B. We're not gonna have time to go over specific names. But what I'd love to hear is like your top 5, maybe top 5 stocks that you think are gonna do extremely well over the next year. Yeah. And then your top 5 cryptos that you think are going to do extremely well.
Okay, top 5 stocks.
You got 1 minute for each one.
I'm not even going to take that.
And I'm gonna cut you off at every minute. I'm timing.
DocuSign is one of my number 1 big holds. Just hold it. I bought it down in breakout of 65.55. I'm going to hold the hell out of it unless it comes down here and breaks 47 and is giving me bearish looks. This is a big, complex inverted bottom, head and shoulders. I bought it at 65.55. I don't think I'm interested in selling a cent of it until I get a 618 retrace at 208. DocuSign for 2025.
Okay, DocuSign. There we go. Next.
Hold on a second here. I have to get this one right. There we go. Stocks. There we go. Okay. I've got a few in here. AMD. I'm looking for, so I've been doing some harmonics on AMD. I've got a channel. I've got everything I like on here. It looks like it's going down. I've got an alarm set to buy it. I want to buy AMD between 120 and 108. And I want to be in that before the end of January. I want to be looking to be getting in that. And then once that baby goes, that will hold what I need for big bot to take me all the way up to $300.
Oh, wow.
Okay. 2025, big bot, big, heavy, fast bot. October, November, December of 2025, I'm going to be looking for my exit. Hold on. I actually marked some of these out on purpose last night. So let me just get the docu we went through. Google. I have a big bag of Google. And it's made me a lot of money. And I've put in some extra. So I bought more, lots more at 166. I've got an inverted head and shoulders here. Do I think it can pull back during the month of December to 170? Yes. Do I think it can pull back and double bottom in the 150 range? Yes. All of those still work for me to do what I want to do. I'm holding Google through 2025 unless it breaks 130. If it comes down and breaks 130, I got to get out because then it's going to explore all these gaps in the VPVR down here, and I don't want to sit through that.
Yeah.
Where
do you expect Google to go?
Didn't I say it on that one yet?
No.
Oh, sorry.
What's your target?
Minimum 220. Okay. I've got another bot I'm marking out for that one right now. I'm waiting for some things to happen on the weekly here, but I have another subjective target that goes all the way into the 300s.
Okay.
So it's a big one for me. I don't have the target marked on here yet, but I don't want to burn up a bunch of time. But this is my first one. I definitely expect 211 to 220. Okay. So 211 is a good place to start looking for tops if you're nervous and get out. Master, I never got in on any of that trade, so I'm not even going to talk about it. And it's one of those that I missed that hurts my feelings. All right, another big holding of mine. We were just looking at DocuSign. Great, big, complex, inverted bottom, head and shoulders. And we're just getting freaking started on DocuSign. Look what Palantir did. I'm in way down here. I bought more way back up in here. I mean, it's at $60. I'm up.
Yeah, this doesn't look like one I could be interested in now. This looks like a sell now.
Yeah.
So we want to look at names that people could consider buying now or in the next 1 to 2 months.
This is one I want to relay as a potential pullback for a rebuy for 2025. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of garbage on here, but let me just put in a quick what I want to see in the reload zone is I'm measuring here. I want to buy again back down here at $30. If you get a chance to buy Palantir at $30, my advice, which is not financial advice, just my own advice to myself, is buy a whole shitload more. Because that company's going places. I mean, they're basically taking old computer systems and making new technology work with them, so governments and companies don't have to spend billions of dollars to be able to run ports. Okay, shit like that. I mean, study the company, know what you're getting into. Shopify, I just sold half on a double, but it's making some interesting things here. My idea with it is it's at least going to come back and hit this 786 in 2025, but you want a place to buy it from. I don't know if this is a breakaway gap for sure or not yet, but if you get consolidation and it holds it well at $100, which is a big fat round number to be aware of, and you get any W's coming off $100, buy it. That's my thoughts. And then start looking for tops anywhere from 145 to 158, but you could take a chaos if everything goes completely stupid next year. From right here is where I would take my chaos, because this is the real move.
Yeah.
And let's do a Faggy on it really quick. So look at that. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, Brian would say it, the 2618's running up here around this 618. But look, we just hit the 618 and the 1618 right here. This is a good place to be out.
Yeah.
So I did sell half on a double. I didn't get another double here, but I might.
All right, we got 3 minutes left, Cotter.
Okay, next one. Hold on, one
more stock.
Where is it? Square.
I want to get to your crypto stuff.
Big inverted head and shoulders bottom. Buy Square. I don't care. Wait for little low time frame pullbacks if you want or whatever. If you can get Square for $80, buy it. It's going to moon in 2025. That's my opinion. It's setting up now. Big inverse bottom head and shoulders. Looks just like Palantir did. Boom. We're going to the moon. Okay.
Okay. Any cryptos you love? Any cryptos that maybe people haven't heard of?
Oh, that people haven't heard of?
Well, heard of, or anything that you think is going to do like a 5, 10x, 20x.
Yeah, SHIB.
Okay.
I'm on SHIB watch. It's going to go with Doge. Anything that's a dog. Big inverted head and shoulder stuff going on here again. If you can get in at SHIB at I can't even tell you what these prices are. It's got so many decimals, but this 40.17 area, and you can find some daily W's. Buy that, buy it, buy it, buy it. But I think we also could go up in December, double top in the quadruple 042 area as well. So I'm waiting for a little more structure here.
Mm-hmm.
I have different things. So I have this right here. I'm on 618 watch. We got it. Now we're up. I'm in it. I'm going to do another 618 from this low to wherever it tops in December. And anyway, I'm looking for an inverse head and shoulders looking W thing here. And then as soon as I see volume, which it's not showing.
All right, you got 2 minutes left. What else? Sorry, I'm just the timer's in the top right corner.
All right. Oh, there's my SHIB right there. Give me an inverse head and shoulders look on SHIB and load the fuck up. That's my message. Okay. Doge is going to the moon, man. This is what I'm looking for on Doge right now. Another big inverse head and shoulders look. Let me get a pull back into this range area, 25 cents. And I'm going to buy $10,000 worth of that shit. And I'm going to watch it moon to $3. What else? That's a 10X right there. Growth coin. That thing is a monster. It wicks out like crazy. I'm waiting for it to come and W down here. I think it's just going to be a big fat wick moon. Make your measurements and put your cells in ahead of time. I have a whole big story about other stuff, but we'll leave that at that. This SEI is interesting to me, but SUI's always interesting to me right now too. Oh, optimism. Okay, this thing is Wing out nice on the weekly. I know you like this, Julian, too.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the unlocks with the project and tokens being dumped and the current weakness,
Right, so I have my weekly chart. This is what I want. You do RSIs, and I like those too. This is what I want. If I can get a little bit lower low or a double bottom and have it do on the MACD on the weekly, just do this a little bit. Give me some red candles there. Take me into February and start heading this way. And I'm accumulating.
All right, guys, we lost Cotter. That was it. The great Cotter. Maybe I'll upgrade. Maybe we have Cotter. What do you guys think? So lost Cotter. He didn't even get to say bye. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. What do you think? Should we have Cotter on again in the future? Maybe we touch base with him end of December to see how the market turned out. Maybe in the new year, and we can go from there. Sorry that he got cut off. It's just the Zoom call keeps cutting off. Cotter, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming on the call. I think everything you shared is extremely valuable. Great show, and it's nice to look into the mind of a extremely successful TRI trader. Like this, let me tell you guys, some of my best trades were ideas that came from Cotter. So listen to those names that he talked about at the end. Listen and watch all those. Put them all on your watch list. And we'll come back and we'll see in 6 months where they are. Remember that Cotter is a long time frame trader. So this stuff is not going to moon tomorrow. It's going to take a little bit of time. Now, before I sign off, was there anything we didn't look at that you guys want my tiny opinion on? I mean, I don't think I can hold a candle to Cotter, but I can try to give my opinion on lower time frames if anybody wants something really quick. Otherwise, I think I'm going to call it a night. It's 2 a.m. where I am, but I enjoyed that broadcast so much that I'm not even that tired, actually. Maybe we call it a night with just that. I'm seeing tons of thank yous for Cotter. I love what I'm seeing here. Yeah, really, everyone loved you, Cotter. You know what that means? We're gonna have to have you back on. You're gonna have to do another show. Maybe in a couple weeks when you've got time. Cotter is a very busy guy. No, I think we're gonna call it. I'm very tired. It's 2 a.m. and we just did an hour and 45-minute stream. That's probably maybe my longest stream. Hopefully we can get some good clips from this, and we'll post some clips on YouTube. Yeah, and I would recommend be careful in crypto in the next 2 weeks. Like Cotter said, we're in a consolidation period. We might get some pullbacks. That's going to be your time to look for buys, look for those W's, and then watch price go up. I mean, as Cotter also mentioned, even in December, Bitcoin could go to 120, 130K. Like, it could happen. So this time is critical to pay attention to the market. Don't get sucked into leverage. Trade on maybe a daily chart, 4-hour chart, and look for those W's. Have your setups ready to go and set your targets and take profit on those targets. And again, avoid the leverage. You get wrecked on that. And if you do use it, stay below like 5x. Okay? I know from experience what happens when you go over 5x. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Especially thank you, Cotter, again. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend. As I always say, get away from your computer. Don't spend too much time on the screen. You know, crypto doesn't really do much on the weekends. It's just there to take your money. Try to trade during the week and use the weekend for spending time with family, exercising, that kind of stuff. All right. Thank you, everybody. If you're not a member of TRI, consider joining via our free trial. You get access to Cotter, myself, Brian. We're always on the site, and you can always tag us and ask questions. That's the biggest benefit of joining TRI. Plus, we have a bunch of portfolios that we share and always talk about. Yeah, and I think that's it. Thank you, guys. I'm going to call it a night.